fitness journey over the past several years is really founded in what my fitness journey has really been all my life. I've always been active ever since I was a kid. I've been very active, always on the move, running. I loved participating in sports. So I never just ran or was active or did things just for the sake of it. I was competing in basketball, I was competing in football, competing in track. Later on in years, in my adult life, started competing in soccer. I think I may have said basketball as well. So it was always with intention around the joy I have about competing in sports. And so I learned at a very early age from youth sports and school sports that the fitness part of it allowed you to perform better when you wanted to compete. So my competitive drive is what's always been driving me. And that's still true today. So obviously I've had to give up basketball as the joints got a little bit too much miles on them. I used to play a lot of tennis. So some injuries around rotator cuff has kind of had me back up, and as well as some ankles. So I've had to moderate. So the drive and the intensity that I love playing sports is still there. I just have to do different things. Soccer is where most of my time is spent now. And I'm really clear. When I'm fit, more fit, I'm able to have a better time, a better experience. And the other thing is my fitness journey now is also to just maintain, reduce, limit potential for injury. You know, muscles, joints, hamstrings, things like that, things I never really worried about much as a kid or as in my youth, are a much bigger factor now. And so the fitness is about performance, but the fitness and conditioning is also vital about just being able to stay on the field and stay ready and to feel good overall. There's also an element about looking good and feeling comfortable with how my body is, and but the primary driver has always been kind of participating and really competing in some types of athletic events. It's very important that I make working out a priority, and it really has to do more with my work schedule and life schedule. It would be very easy to get caught up in those other responsibilities in my life and just see a week or 2 weeks blow by and I didn't work out. And sometimes, unfortunately, I do have some pretty busy paces. So what's most important to me in making it a priority is when I look out the week ahead of time, figuring out, okay, which evenings am I going to make it a priority? So I tend to pick out those days, those nights, or those evenings up front. So I already know, okay, I'm going to get my 2 or 3 workouts in. It becomes even more important when I'm not in season, like for soccer, where I know I won't have like my Sunday soccer game, because that's a big workout as well. So I'm even more diligent. And then frankly, the weekends are always kind of my makeup. I know I can, if everything else misses, if I'm not traveling on the weekend, I can make sure I get another workout or something in there. And the other thing is incorporating a lot of different areas. So I love coming to the adrenaline, those workouts. They're very unique and work out all parts of the body. But I'm also, hey, if I can get 20 minutes in the evening, I can just go on a bike ride through my neighborhood, good, I'll do that. Sometimes, me and Bio just go on a walk, if we do a walk. I mean, so I've learned that, sometimes you got to figure out where you can fit it in. Even if you can't get what you would prefer to get done, you got to figure out, okay, what kind of compromises can I make to get a short run in, or a bike ride in, or a walk in, or do some yoga at home. Things that have a little more flexibility around the schedule. So that's really how I prioritize it. And then, I definitely pack bags, because there's no going back and forth getting home in the evenings. Like half the time I'm racing trying to get here on time. So that bag's got to be packed and in the back of the car, so I can just run in and change and get to it. Yeah, so nutrition strategies for me is really driven by moderation. I know some of the things that I love to do, salted snacks I love. If I'm out socializing, I'll have a drink. And so breads, I love bread. And I know bread sits right with me, and I know exactly where it shows up. So it's really about moderation. I do not believe in like cutting things off completely, just, going cold turkey on anything that I really like or desire, but it's all about just moderate it and balance it with how much working out, and kind of, so it's a reward. If I'm more active, if I know I'm burning more calories, then I'm more likely to say, okay, enjoy something. But I know if I've been busy at work, I've been kind of sitting on my butt for all week and not doing out much activity, then I'm going to be a lot more diligent about not tasting snack foods or desserts if those are around. Um, we also take advantage of the nutrition element that Dawn has done here, and so I've gotten that along with my wife is a very adamant nutritionist, and so I've been fortunate to have a lot of um, ideas and concepts and practices kind of introduced to me, so I know how I know what having good nutrition looks like, and frankly, moderating on snacks, but also just reducing overall amounts of food that I eat. Uh, as an adult, if I'm not working really hard and burning off calories, I don't need to consume that much food because I'm not growing muscles, I'm not building muscle bones, not growing, and so I do think in our American culture there's a overabundance belief that people you need to consume more than many people really do need to consume. So a typical day for me is, having some, getting up, getting some supplements, right, to start off on the nutrition, trying to have a good breakfast that's going to give me good energy, but not drag me down. And then, I have a not too long a commute, so I try to enjoy a little talk radio, whatever, as I commute to work. I do have my work can be flexible. Sometimes I'm bouncing around the city, driving, going in and out of meetings, and there's some other days where I'm really could just be sitting at my desk in front of a computer screen for most of the day, which those are not fun. So I've incorporated, the good thing is I can easily go on walks. So I'll take breaks every hour or two, and if it's not winter time or rainy, just go take a stroll and either take a little break or maybe sometimes I'll take a phone call if I can, while a certain phone call at work, and I'll just go and walk around the building or walk out if it's not too noisy or windy. And same with meetings. Sometimes some of my coworkers, instead of just sitting down at a desk in a cube or in an office, we'll just go take a stroll and have a conversation while we're out walking. So those are a couple ways kind of incorporate activity into my day. And then, my days tend to run, 5 to 6, sometimes beyond. And if it's a day that I'm trying to get to the gym, get to adrenaline, then I tend to place in my calendar or in a timer like, hey, time to depart, because I'm always trying to do that one more thing or something always pops up that's going to take my attention. So I'll make sure I have that alert that says, look, either out the door right now or you're not going to make it. And so then I come home and try to have. I also pack lunch. So the other thing at work, there was a period where I would go out and eat a lot, but I've really gotten away from trying to eat too many foods that we don't prepare at home. There's just a vast difference on the impact it has on my body, I've noticed. So I then come home and grab a meal, and evenings tend to be pretty active. So even if there's a workout, we often have something else going on, or out the house, or a task or something. And then I also tend to be a night owl. So my struggles is with the full days, trying not to get to bed too late. Although because my mornings they kind of can start kind of early, and try to do something relaxing before I turn in so I can get as nice restful sleep as possible. I definitely understand the value of getting longer amounts of sleep than I used to, and that's something I'm trying to work on, is getting closer to 7.5 hours of sleep. If I can get to 8, that's great, but that's pretty rare. Got to incorporate fun into the work. I think that if people are like working out, or they're trying to fix something, or like I got to fix my body or something's wrong, that can be, I think it can be a drag, and I think it's hard to sustain that. But I think, and it is hard. So working out, you got to create and figure out what's going to make it fun. So group environments, like we call it our tribe up here, it makes it more fun to me, working out with a group as opposed to solo. To me, it also makes it more fun when I'm focusing on, hey, I'm getting ready for my upcoming season, or I'm gonna get more workouts this week, so I feel better going into my game next weekend. So really making it fun, I think, is important, and that can be even if you aren't in a big gym with lots of people, even just finding a workout partner, or setting some goals for yourself, like, hey, by this point, I want to get to whatever that looks like for an individual, and so you can really have some positive reinforcement. It can feel fun achieving something as you go along the way. But either way, fun looks a lot very different for different people. I think if you can wrap fun into your health routine, your workout routine, then I think it becomes more of a lifestyle as opposed to a task or a chore. And I think that's really important.